Hey everyone, I'm Corine Lewis. I am the Director of Fan Experience for the International and Arena League. And I appreciate you guys being here on this live with us today. I'm super excited. I have a few announcements to make, and then I have a very special guest to introduce to you. With that being said, I'll start off first. There's a few things that we're doing for fans. We're doing a lot of things for fans, but we have a few announcements to make so that you guys know what's going on. In the UK, we do have a name submission competition that's going on in Glasgow, Scotland. And the cool thing about this is the IAL COO, Tom Mitchell, has made it to where the community, the people of Glasgow, get name the team. And I think that's exciting and innovative. And so with that being said, for all of you out there in the UK, specifically for you for Glasgow, if you want to put your 2 cents in and you want to name your team, just go to ialfootball.com or go to the Facebook page, Instagram page, and submit your request for what you think the Glasgow team should be called. And if you win, you're going to get tickets for the entire season. So that's I think that's a fair deal. Okay, so for all our UK people out there, get the ball rolling, get creative, and send in your submissions. And also, we will be soon announcing how to audition recording artists, people that want an opportunity to sing our national anthem at an IAL game or possibly even a championship. We'll be announcing how to do that, how to submit, but we want all the local people we can get all over the United States in our leagues, in our teams to audition to sing to kick off the game. So be looking for that. And then also we do still have a program going. Basically, if you are a season ticket holder throughout the IAL and your team wins the championship and you are a season ticket holder, and let's just say it's the Las Vegas Rockers, okay? And let's say Vegas wins. Then as a season ticket holder, you get season tickets for the 2027 season. So again, another IAL first, right? So go out and get your tickets. You can go to ialfootball.com. You can go to LasVegasRockers.com, Cincinnati Slingers. Go check out where your team is located. Get those season tickets. And if they win the championship, I'll comp for all season ticket holders the next year. So I love this. It's probably one of my most favorite things that we're doing. And with that being said, there's just a couple announcements I wanted to make. And I am so excited to introduce to you one of the most amazing human beings that I know, Mr. Adrian Madbacker Ross.
What up? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Hey, Big A, how are you?
I'm great.
Oh, good. Look at you know what happens as we get older, right, Adrian?
The glasses. I know. I'm over here. I'm like, hey, I might need to grab mine.
You and I've been talking a long time.
Right. Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
Help for you?
You're breaking up.
I believe. I think they're
Can you hear me? I think we started breaking up. I lost you right now. I can't hear you right now.
Hello. I got disconnected, I think.
All right, there you go.
Okay. Sorry, I do believe that there's a reel or there's something that our team put together for you.
Can you hear me good?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm freezing up. Are you freezing up?
No.
You're good? Okay, you're good. So listen, my apologies, just getting this thing going. Listen, I am so excited. I'm always so excited when I talk to you. It's like Christmas every day when I talk to you, Big A. So listen, please do us a favor and let's talk a little bit about where you come from and your journey going even into college. You have a little bit of a journey than a lot of guys, especially who were as successful as you in the NFL. So take it back just a little bit. Tell us where you come from and your transition from high school into Colorado State.
Definitely. Yeah. I have a very unique background. My dad was a principal. My mom's a teacher. And my dad, had a little stint with the 49ers. He went to San Jose State University. So in my household, it was definitely about having a great education. So that's what life was. We moved around a lot. I didn't know it. A lot of people always thought we were in the military because my dad was just taking a job here and taking assistant principal job here and then a principal job. So my background is, California and then Texas. At 8, 9, that's where I started off playing football. And thankfully, one of the meccas of football is where I learned and I got my base foundation at. And then we moved back to California after a hurricane. Pops was like, nah, I'm not dealing with that. So fortunately enough, I got to go back to California. Specifically for high school, we moved from the Bay up to Elk Grove, California by Sacramento. And I went to Elk Grove High School. And there I finally started to grow. I started to grow vertically. I got real tall, but I was skinny. But, I always kept
Right.
the academics first. And I just always was saying, I'm going to get better. I'm going to try to get better every day in every way. But I just want to make sure I gave myself a chance. And so, I did that. I received an academic scholarship to Colorado State. I had a few small offers, D2, UC Davis and stuff. I had aspirations on being a veterinarian. So, I applied at Texas A&M. It's funny when I look back at it now. I applied I didn't even apply to Colorado State. They came to look at me, and their old mascot was the Aggies. I applied to UC Davis, and I applied to Texas A&M, and they were the Aggies. So it's kind of pretty funny. I kind of knew what I wanted to do one way or another. Went on to Colorado State as a walk-on, earned a scholarship the next year. So, that's why I have a very unique outlook on the game itself, because I didn't come in with all these different accolades. I had to work hard, make the team. Went on there, did that, started as a redshirt sophomore. They moved me to defensive end from linebacker. We had a great teams at Colorado State. Some of the best teams ever. Say what?
Especially in those years.
Yeah, those unfortunate right now for my Rams have been the best years. Has been the best years ever. Specifically, my senior year, 11-2, is the best record of all time. Yeah, so those 90s were the best. But learned a lot. Colorado State and that tour there, those 5 years prepared me for the NFL. Walking on there, I knew when I didn't get drafted, I was pretty pissed, but I knew, I was like, no, I'm going to make it because I did it when I came into college. And had a choice to go to the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Cincinnati Bengals. And my guy, Dick LeBeau, the great D coordinator, Bengals, Steelers. He's been a lot of other places, but most specifically, he's been the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive coordinator. And, I saw him playing because I'm a student of the game. And when I knew he was a D coordinator, I'm like, hey, I'm going to Cincinnati. I always dreamed about playing in that 3-4 defense. And, God's been good. And I was fortunate enough to be able to play under him and play in that system, and I was able to excel being a linebacker. My defensive end background at Colorado State allowed me to play outside linebacker, and then just who I am. I've always at heart been a middle linebacker. So for the Bengals, I was able to play all 4 linebacker spots, and got on, started playing as a rookie, and then in year 2, I won the starting job at right outside linebacker, Cincinnati.
Yeah. I know that because I know a lot of people that know you from the Sacramento area, and to this day, you're a legend. And I think who you are, you've always been that guy. You know what I mean? And so everybody was so proud of you for succeeding the way you did in the NFL. But I think everyone knows the character of you as a man, and I think the pride came in because of your academics, because of your work ethic, because of those things. Like it carried over so much further even than your NFL career, right? And I believe you got Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, I think I was nominated for it. I haven't been put in anywhere in those lights yet, but I was inducted to the Colorado State Hall of Fame in 23. So
okay, I knew.
Yeah,
I
just got into that. So that was a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. Unfortunately, my dad, he's in heaven, so he wasn't there. That was the one piece that was missing. But he's definitely within me, and he's a big reason of my success that I've had.
Well, I've known you a long time as well, and we're all continue to be so proud of everything that you've done. I do want to let people who are watching know, how did you get Mad Backer? Where did that come from?
The Mad Backer, my Bengal teammates, Takeo Spikes, Brian Simmons, Canute Curtis, Steve Foley, my coach Mark Duffner, Louis Chioffi. Those guys, I just have this thing, I'm a nice guy. I'm smiling, and I just try to do my job and do what I'm doing. And if I feel someone's cheating me, or there's a low blow, or something's not fair, I just like fairness. And then it's almost like the Incredible Hulk. I just turn mad, and and they could see it on film, and they're like, "Uh-oh, Ross is mad. Ross is mad. Y'all better watch out. Y'all better watch out. Ross is mad." So they started calling me the Mad Backer. It was like Incredible Hulk time.
I would have played against you. I wouldn't have wanted to play against you ever.
Yeah. A lot of my friends and family, like when they see the game and when they see me playing, they're like, I just can't imagine you I can't imagine you being like that. And it's something I had to even learn how, even all the way back to college. Some guys would tell me, they're like, what were you doing when you were playing like that? Like, try to play like that all the time, So it's just, I was able to flip that switch, and I could release the mad backer. That's where it came from.
In fact, that name is carried throughout the community, all throughout California. I mean, you've done philanthropic work. You've raised a lot of money for kids and for causes, and so that Mad Backer name has definitely done good for not just for you, but for a lot of people. So, but listen, I want to talk a little bit. So, obviously, we're having this conversation because I am, now with the International Arena League. We talked about that. And Cincinnati is one of our teams, the Cincinnati Slingers. And so, as the director of fan experience, I wanted to talk to you about what do the fans, what do they mean to you as a player? But what I really, really want to dive into is, what are the fans really like in Cincy? Tell me about your relationship as a player with the fans in Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, I love the fans of Cincinnati. I think they're everything. Because especially my years there, we had some tough years, and coming from winning a lot at Colorado State, we didn't really win there, but they would show up and they would show out. Every time I was in the community, they like knew who you were. They were always very supportive. I just love that fan base. Back then I had an afro. I don't have no hair now, but I had an afro, and so a lot of fans would wear the orange and black striped afros, and it was something they loved. And so I tried to, being that I saw their support, I just want to show them that we're working and had spirit. That was my whole theme in doing my hair like that, was because of the fan base. I just was so in love with the fact that they're still supporting us when the product we were putting on the field at times was real tough, but they'd still be there. So I love that fan base. They love football out that way. So I'm very excited for the league and to give these fans some more football.
Exactly. And I in fact I think Cincinnati was the first team that was the first arena, I believe, that Tom Mitchell acquired for the league. And I know that's very special to him, and the fans are very special to all of us, really, like, because again, without fans, there's, what do you do, right?
Right.
You play. So I wanted to ask you, what is your most memorable moment playing in front of those fans as a Bengal?
Ooh, we have a lot of moments. I mean, I always love the Steeler games. I think, of course, my boy Joey Porter and rest in peace, Clark Hagens was over there. So anytime they come to town, Hines Ward and Bettis and them, those are some games. But I think my most memorable moment for me was, I think the second game I was able to start at middle backer, and the Tennessee Titans came to town with Eddie George. And I had hit Jerome Bettis the week before, but I was telling everybody, I was like, watch me. I knock people out, watch me. And so, the Titans ran the ball, had a real good team. And they're like, all right, Ross, we're going to be watching you today. We'll be watching you today. And Rodney Thomas cut back and tried to come through the hole, and I darn near flipped him. And, there's nothing like getting that perfect hit. But this was the first time where I had the perfect hit. And while I'm tackling him, it's like I could hear the crowd, so it was like the most amazing feeling to hear, 60 something thousand stand to their feet and then, go, whoa. And, like that's what you play NFL, football, or any type of football for, is just like you said, is getting that crowd and just, for me, entertaining, and that's what I said I could do. And that's what I wanted to show everybody. They said they're watching me, and hey, the lights are on me, and that's what I do. I perform in showtime. And that moment right there was it.
Well, one thing is for certain, Adrian, that the International Arena League, we are all about fan focus, fan experience, high energy. Um, it is about the fans, and we have a lot of fun things in store for them. But what you were as you were speaking, um, what do you think about arena football as far as the fans getting to have so much more of an intimate experience, being closer to the game? Like what are your thoughts on the game, on the difference between?
Oh, that's the part that I love right there, because it's like really, I I was real good at football, but I love basketball. And because of the arena and the closeness that you're able to be, like that's why I love the old Sacramento Arco Arena. It was an older arena, but it was real close in there and you get close to the action. So that's why I love the arena football game, because of the fan experience, and the fans get to kind of be right there and see the players, and vice versa. The players are able to see the fans and interact. You're able to, catch balls. You're able to get gear, and you're just much closer to the game. And I love it in that aspect. You're getting an exciting brand of football. Like you're able to see touchdowns, you're able to see scoring, you're able to see hits, and you're able to hear it. So I love the experience of just the closeness of it. You could hear things, and I think I think it's just the ultimate fan sports experience, to be able to be that close to the game. So I love it.
Too. And what do you think about the fact that you Nottingham and you might be playing Cincinnati? What do you think about the International Arena League? What's your perspective as a pro? You've coached in high school. You've played the game. You have a lot of different viewpoints and perspectives. What do you think about this endeavor being international?
I love it because, like not only, player wise, but coaching wise, and just the game and techniques and ideas, like, you're able to play the same game, but you're able to, go over the waters, and then you're able to, see who else there is out there. Guys like competition. At least I did. I like seeing who else is out there working, what are they bringing, and what do I have to stop, or what do I have to beat? And so I love the fact that it's not just the same old of, here's everybody all right here, and we're all going to run the same thing and do the same thing. I think, being international, you open it up for a lot more perspectives, a lot more different styles, especially like how you said, for the fans to be able to experience. So that's my part of it. You're going to get different looks, because there's always the uniform swag and how people do different things, so you get to get that a perspective of it as well.
Yeah. We know how important how you wear the uniform.
Exactly.
I know that.
Right. And then too, the fanfare of it, is like there's some places that you go to, and the fans are really serious, like you go some places they're really nice, but so that's a whole different aspect of getting the opportunity to see what the fans bring, because that plays a big part of the games.
Absolutely. And I was speaking to Mook Zimmerman, Coach Hollywood. He's going to be coaching in the IAL, and we were talking back and forth, and he was saying, even just the fact that they're going to be play calling in another language, just
right.
All it's just going to be it's going to be really exciting in so many different, for so many different reasons.
That part, yeah, that's see, I didn't even think about it like that. It's kind of, we saw a little bit talking about Kobe Bryant and stuff, where you're not able to pick up their language and what they're doing. You're gonna have to use other signals and things like that and just be able to play.
Right? Now, I think you had told me previously you had some friends that actually played overseas, right? They played maybe in NFL Europe or something.
Yes.
You had some friends,
Yeah.
and their experiences.
Yeah, when I talked to them, the ball that they played over there, and like the in towns, like the being in the certain towns and how it was with the food, and like going and get these different cultures, and that's a blessing in life to be able to go experience, as a coach, as an announcer, as a player, to be able to travel and, get that while playing a game that you love, so that's generally what those guys talk about is their experience of interacting with the different cultures and having guys coming from different places and being on the team all for the same game. There's all these different things when you leave.
Absolutely.
But you get there that day and for practice and for these games, and you guys all have one goal in common. It was a very unique perspective, and guys loved it.
Yeah, I'm sure, and it really is. There's a very, very small brotherhood of football players, right? I mean, it may seem like a lot, but it's really not. There's really a small collective group of you guys. And to be able to have those experiences, going through all the different trials and tribulations, the ups, the downs, the learning, all of it, I just think that's really special. And to be able to experience, like you just said, different cultures, different walks of life, I think that's really the lesson, isn't it? About growing and,
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's the lesson. I mean, for me, that food part, boy, I love that food part. experiencing all the different international foods.
Right.
I'm a big foodie.
But you're not a tourist by chance, are you?
Say what?
Tourist by chance,
Oh,
are you?
no.
I am. I love.
No, that Pisces, baby.
You're in February.
Yeah.
Right. So listen, I know we're going to have you on again. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Thursday or maybe next week, so I can have you on with our commissioner, Dan Lust. Dan is incredible. He's actually a sports and entertainment attorney, actually teaches law school. He's a full-time lawyer. He's our commissioner. He has a huge podcast. He's incredible. And then our COO, Tom Mitchell, I know you and I both talked about looking forward for you to talk with him and meet with him. So I want to bring you back in.
Perfect.
So that you guys can talk a little different language too than I can, and just talk about some different elements. I wanted to talk about the fan engagement part of it, and I appreciate you doing that. I always end these conversations with getting a little food for thought, words of wisdom from former players and whatnot. So with that being said, for any guy that's coming up that maybe he had a great small college career, maybe he had a great D1 career, or somebody got injured, whatever the scenario may be, they still want to try to get that extra shot to go into the league or play ball. What is your best advice that you could give any of them on how to push through to make the roster of the IL?
Yeah, what I would say, and my advice is, it's all about a mindset. It's all about a mindset and time management, right? Because there's a lot of interest and there's a lot of other people out there that want your interest and want your time. And so I always like having them focus on the word sacrifice, so to any of y'all looking out there to making something and anything in life is like, what are you going to sacrifice to have it? Because playing the games, like back when I was in college, I'd call up spring break and, hey, Dad, hey, everybody's going to Cancun. I want to go to Cancun. Dad's like, yeah, we haven't been to Cancun, so you better get a job in the spring, or you better get a job. You better get a job while you're off for that 1 week break. And I used to always think like, man, Dad doesn't let me do anything, but now I'm able to travel wherever I want to, from being able to sacrifice prior. I was able to sacrifice a while ago, and I thought I was missing out on so much, but I wasn't, because I was sacrificing for exactly what I wanted to do. And that's what I would tell them, because, especially being young, there's all these other, we call them distractions, but you can be distracted by anything. It's not a distraction if you don't want to do it and you're focused, So
Right.
I always say, when people say, oh, there's these other distractions, I'm like, hey, when I played in the league, it was just every day. It's a job, and you drive there just like everybody else that's going to their job, and you get out, you got to go buy groceries, you got to do everything else, and go to the post office and do everything that everyone else is doing. So it's about focusing and managing your time, but most importantly, there's going to be some major sacrifice, because there's not a lot of people that can do it. So
Right.
in your training, what are you going to do in terms of your weaknesses? Are you working on your weaknesses so they can be strengths, or so you can be better at it? Or are you just always working on what you're good at, and you're just never working on what you're bad at or what you're weak at? So I always, was always trying to get better, but there was a lot of sacrifice that came with it. And that's my biggest advice, is sacrifice. Did I lose you? Still have me? You froze up.